Have you ever want to get into games like Factorio or Satisfactory, but it always felt a bit overwhelming? Well, I did, and I spent years delaying getting into games like this until I found this one, Dyson Sphere Program. I mean, I found a lot of beginner videos out there, but I could never find one targeted to people like me, people that work, that have family, that are busy basically, and maybe I have 15 hours a week, maybe 20 hours if I'm lucky a week to dedicate to gaming, and these games always felt like they were like high maintenance, that I had to focus on them for hours and hours and hours just to be able to enjoy them, and that is not the case. So I did this video targeted to complete noobs to this genre of games, Factorio type of games, which is basically me. I never played Factorio Satisfactory, and also people that don't have too much time to waste and want to find out, can I actually enjoy this game? Well, I hope this video will help answering that question. The answer for me is a clear yes, for two reasons. First one, the interface, and you'll see that in a second. The interface is quite intuitive and minimalistic, which to me is very appealing. And second, this game is gorgeous. This game is beautiful. Look at this. It's awesome. Oh, let's see the sunset. Oh, let me just adjust the camera a little bit. Let's see the sunset. Look how cool this game is. Oh, anyway, enough talking. Let's get into it. So first things first, what is this game all about? It's about building what you see in your screen right now, a Dyson Sphere, which is this massive infrastructure that is designed to absorb as much energy from the sun or from a star as possible. And you see these little things floating around here? It's basically what you ultimately need to do. You need to build this massive industry that produces a bunch of technology that then sends all the components to build a Dyson Sphere. And this is just such a beautiful game. Look how beautiful this is. And this is just the intro menu, okay? So, look at this. We are going to build all of this stuff, guys. It's how amazing this game is. We are going to actually build a Dyson Sphere and having a lot of fun. And I'll show you that you don't really have to spend countless hours, and you can play this game casually, which is what I do, because I don't have a lot of time to play, to be honest. But I still have fun, and I think you can too. So, let's just get right into it. Click new game. This is basically your local star cluster. You're going to start the game in a specific planet, and I just leave these things as the default because I don't know what they mean, and I don't know what's best, what's not best. So let's just get into the game. I will skip the intro because I don't want to spoil it to you in case you haven't seen it. And here we are. This is how the game starts. You get to assign the planet. Normally, as far as I can tell,
now
it's
try
always
to recycle the space capsule.
Earth-like.
Right-click on it to recycle.
No, I'm not going to recycle because we don't have to. But yeah, if it's your first time, you just recycle it. But anyway, that's not the point of the game. Let's just look around and enjoy the landscape a little bit. Yeah, let's zoom out. So I'm zooming out and in. Oh, look how gorgeous this is. Is that what, a moon? What is another planet? Wow, never had another planet so close to my starter planet. Or I should say, not a normal planet. That seems like a rocky planet. Normally, and I'm going to press the M key to go to the star map.
In the planet view mode, you can hold down the middle mouse button drag, rotate the angle of view, and hold down the right mouse button, drag to roll the angle of view. Press N key to point to the front to the North Pole. In the planet view mode, slide the mouse wheel to enter the star map mode.
Okay, so as you can see, the tutorial guy, robot thing, does help you a lot with these basics, but I am just admiring this. So normally my starts have been you land on this Earth-like planet.
Yet you have not unlocked the construction menu, which will be done automatically when complete any technology research. Click the technology tree button at the bottom right of the screen to open the technology tree and activate a research.
Yeah, you should always pay attention to him, at least in the beginning. The first bits of the tutorial in-game tutorial really good, but I'm just enjoying the view for now. Okay, so I'm used to this view. It's just amazing to be the moon of a gas giant, but I've never had this so close to me. Is this a moon? Okay, I need to zoom out. So again, I'm pressing the middle mouse wheel button. I'm not pressing, just scrolling down. Oh, it has 2 moons. I've never had this before. This is the second moon of the gas giant. Oh, this is such an awesome start. And then there's only an extra planet, so there's 2 planets and 2 moons. Anywho, this is our solar system, and if you keep scrolling down or zooming out, you see the entire star cluster, and you can travel to all of these stars, create Dyson spheres in all of them, build this massive industry, intergalactic, or should I say interstellar industry. It's just amazing. So how do we go back? So we press escape. It says here on the lower right corner, and oh man, look how beautiful this is. 2 moons, so cool. Okay, now I press escape again, and we're back with our mech, which is called Icarus. So I want to guide you step by step to create a basic industry, to build the basic components of everything else. But before we do that, let me show you how you can navigate in this world. So let's start with the left hand side. It is the map planet thumbnail. So if you press M like we did, you go to the map view and you can search for resources and see how things are in the planet. And if you zoom out, you can see the actual solar system and so on, like we just did. So that's that. And then you, with the arrow keys, you just navigate to the map. You can also right click and it will go wherever you want. If you want to interact with stuff in the map, is also right click. So I'm going to harvest this tree, and there we go. And we got 2 things: fuel, or plant fuel, and wood. So if you press the F key, actually before we press keys, look at the right hand side here. So these are the menus that have these hotkeys that you can just press and go. So let's start with this. So let's just look at here. We have copper, but as you can see, it's not highlighted as to which resource it is. So if you want to highlight on the map all the resources your planet has, you click here the detail display and you select the veins distribution, which you still can't because it requires an upgrade. Okay, so forget about that. You will come back to this. This is the inventory, or if you press the E key, you check your inventory. So as you could just see, we harvested a tree, or mined the tree, or whatever, chopped down a tree, and we got these 2 resources. One of them is our logs, and the other is plant fuel. Now fuel is important for your mech. Oh, what happened to my mech? Okay, so if you press the C key, or here on the mecha panel, here on the interface, you'll see the fuel chamber. This gives you a bunch of details about your mech, but ignore this for now. What you need to make sure is that you always have some fuel in the chamber. Otherwise your mech is going to move really slow. So you just drag things from inventory to the chamber, or if you press shift click, it will immediately transfer. So that's cool. So the first thing you need to do is to grab a bunch of fuel, and for that you do shift right click just to queue a bunch of instructions at the same time, so you don't have to be constantly clicking, and then you just wait. Let's grab a bit of stone as well, although we don't really need it. Okay, we have some materials, and we have some more. Oh, we got a new one. We got organic crystal. It says it's rare, and some people say you shouldn't really use it, but I use it. It's just such a convenient fuel source, and in the later game we'll be able to produce this automatically. So let's just pop it in, and that's it. So we should have enough fuel for a while. And now what we need to do is go to the technology tree. So just to wrap up the interface, so on the left hand side you have the map, On the middle you have the menu that's still locked, but will enable you to build things. And the right hand side is information. And the main one you need to worry right now is this one, technology tree. Do not get scared. Okay, so the goal of this game is to research all of this stuff leading to this one. And what enables you to research all of this stuff is these cubes, and there are plenty of them to research. So what you'll do is create this massive industry to generate these cubes, so you can unlock all the techs, and then you need to produce the actual techs to build the Dyson Sphere. That's, I think, a fair summary of what you need to do. In the beginning, because you don't know how to produce cubes or anything, you just follow this simple line, or pathway I should say. So we need to unlock the basic stuff. And what is the basic stuff? We have wind turbines to produce power, we have Tesla towers to distribute power, and we have the mining machines to actually mine the resources you need, because you need to do things, you need to build automated industries. You don't want your guy to build things, and he can build things. We'll get into that in a moment. So let's just activate this research, but oh no, we got an error. We need these magnetic coils, and in order to produce magnetic coils we need magnetic rings and copper ingots. Okay, how do we do that? Well, first we need materials, and to mine materials we select it, or put your mouse cursor on top of what we want to gather. In this case, let's gather copper, because we need to produce copper ingots. I think it's ingots, and you just right click on it, and then it starts mining. You can see it's not fast. So I was already doing this. That's why there was that cut in the video. So I was already doing it. Let's check the inventory, pressing the E key on the keyboard, and I've been a bit busy. So I've been gathering iron, we'll need a lot of it, and copper, and also some more materials for the fuel, and I started to produce these things. How do you produce these things? You press the F key or the replicator option in the menu, and then you select what you want to build, and then you click produce, or produce, or whatever, and then you select the quantities. Don't be afraid to max this out. One of the things I wish I knew when I started this game is that you really don't need to try to save resources, at least not these basic ones. You just go for it. So the max is 10, select 10 and produce 10. That's it. And why do we need to produce this stuff? So it's all because of the research. The research will tell you what you need to produce. So if you're in doubt of what you need to do next, just click the research or the technology tree, and then you see what you need to do. Currently we don't have any other option other than research electromagnetism, which will unlock all these technologies, and for this you need the magnetic coil. But in order to produce magnetic coil, which is this, the game will tell you what you need. You need magnets and copper ingots. That's the word I was looking for. So that's what I've been doing. So I've been grabbing the source materials for the copper and for the iron, so I can then build magnets and copper ingots. Make sense? I hope it does. So I was already busy doing a bunch of this. I'll build a few more. Yeah, I just put here in the queue. Why not? A few more here. And I think we are good. Oh, we are not good for the circuit boards. Do I need circuit boards for this? I don't actually. So I don't actually need to build all of this. But again, it doesn't hurt. Okay. Try to always keep your replicator working while you're doing other stuff. So while that's producing, I can come here and harvest some more materials, for example. So I'm using the shift right click key to queue multiple instructions. So while the replicator is working, you can see on the left hand side here things pop up. So you can optimize the time if you want to. Once it's done, we can then queue other stuff. Again, max it out, go to 10 and just click a couple of times, and that's it. So it's producing 40. And look at the left hand side, research completed. I mean, soon. And this will unlock those 3 key technologies we need: power and mining. Just wait for it. There we go. Now we can build stuff.
You have created a mining machine to achieve ore collecting automation.
Let's
pick it
listen
up
to
from
him.
the inventory, or select it on Gathering of Construction menu to build it.
Yep. That's it. So as you can see, the tutorial actually is pretty cool. If you press the G key on your keyboard, a lot of these instructions actually have small videos. It's a really cool tutorial, actually. It's really, really cool. So if you are in doubt, just come here and check it out. But hopefully this video I'm doing, it summarizes this, so you don't have to read everything line by line. And maybe you can even play along. Okay, so we unlocked the key technologies. And you always should try to automate things. You don't want to rely on a replicator to do things, okay? So the things we really want to do right now, is the only thing we can do, is we want to build a mining machine. But the mining machine, as you can see there on the tooltip, needs power. And the only power source we have at the moment are the wind turbines. As you can see, I didn't have these 3 things here on the inventory. And that's because when you research a tech, it will put those technology components on your inventory, which is quite cool. So we have 1 of each. We need a lot of wind turbines. So you can see it can generate power of 300k. This varies a little bit based on the planet wind production, and that's another topic, but basically it will not be literally 300k. It will be around this, depending on, again, this wind metric that each planet has. Then we have the Tesla towers that transmit the power, and you can see the connection length and the supply area. So the connection length is how far each Tesla tower can be from each other, so that energy can be transmitted from one tower to the other. And the supply area is how far can you build things, or the radius of how far you can build things and they get energy supply. Let's see this in action, because it will make more sense. So the first thing I'd like to do is to find an area that's kind of clear where I can start building stuff. And I don't want things to be too far apart from each other, because it will consume more resources if they have to build more components to connect things to other things. So I'm going to press the M key because it's easier. I'm going to press the N key to align it to the north. Not that it really matters. So let's take a look at the materials we have. So we can recognize copper because it's the orange color, coal because it's dark gray black, light gray is stone, and we are missing iron. Where do we have iron? Here. So I'm looking for a place that has those 3 things kind of together, and unfortunately for me there isn't any. There's nothing stopping me from going elsewhere in the map. I just didn't want to travel too far. So this is a bit of a tricky layout. It's not too bad though, because I have plenty of iron here, a lot of iron veins. I have some iron here. What is this? Stone, oil. We don't need it for now, so I'm not too worried about that. I think maybe here, coal, iron. Yeah, this map is not the best. So I'm trying to search for a location that has copper, iron, and coal. Well, I guess here and here. Okay, it's not too bad actually. Well, I'll start build here. There's oil as well, but I'll ignore that, and stone. Yeah, okay. This is not a lot of copper, only 6 veins. You can see here we have 14. Where else we have copper? Up there. It doesn't matter, and we have more copper here. Yeah, this is not a great layout. Oh, there's a lot of coal here. Oh wow, this can potentially be a great coal factory, although it's right next to the North Pole, and it's not ideal to build there. And I'll show you in the second one. At least not these factories. Yeah, we should try to build more or less closer to the equator, and I'll show you why in a sec. Yeah, okay. I'm just trying to make up my mind Yeah, I think I'll build here. Iron is a bit far, but I think I can build an iron smelting factory around here and then connect things here. Yeah, it's going to be a bit long belts that I need to use to connect things, so it should be okay. Okay, let's start with iron, because that's the main one. So I'm going to click the component I want to build, and then it starts the construct mode. And as you can see here, you start to see a grid pattern. And the reason why you need to build next to the equator is because since this is a sphere, if you see this grid pattern, the closer you go to the poles, the more it breaks. You see that this green line here doesn't align with the others, and this affects the way you can build buildings. So you need to build closer, or as close as possible, to the equator, and you need to build across the latitude, so the horizontal lines. You don't want too many belts crossing these horizontal lines, so building vertically or longitudinal, because it will just mess up your how can I say, your logistics. Basically, it will look ugly. That's kind of in a nutshell. And also, it will maybe even affect the placement of objects. So just for now, just try to find like these perfect grids, because it will help you connect things. That's kind of the short of it. Okay, so let's start with, where is my mech? Here it is. Let's start with iron. We have some iron over here. Oops. We have some iron over here. I will, since this is just a tutorial, I'll try to plop things here. Now notice what's going to happen. I will plop this here, and look, there's a drone
Insufficient required
that
items.
will use to
You can click the
build.
replicator button at the bottom right of the screen to open the panel and manually replicate these items.
Okay. What insufficient items are you talking about? Okay, I don't understand. But anyway, so now we have built our first machine, which is a mining machine that will mine iron. And
One of your
he's going to
production
speak.
facilities is not powered. You need to keep it within the power coverage area and supply it with power facilities in order to maintain its normal works.
Yep, that's a good point. Let's talk about power then. So just to wrap this up, so yeah, we have a machine here, and I want to build more machines while we do the rest. So what I did there is I double clicked the item I want to build. It gave that error message, and then automatically open the replicator. So I want to build more of these. And what do I need to build these? Iron ingots, circuit boards, magnetic coils, and gears, which I have. What don't I have? I have everything. Oh, I don't have circuit boards. Notice that it doesn't show a red icon over here. I wanted to see if you have. Okay, we don't have. So I'm going to build a lot of these, because I know we're going to need a lot of wind turbines to generate power. So let's do 10. And this is the maximum number you can produce based on the amount of resources you have on an inventory. That's why you have this number 36 here. And this is just the number I want, each batch I want to build, basically. So I'm going to build, actually I just need 3 more, because I want 1 iron, 1 coal, 1 stone, and 1 copper. So I want 4 of these for now. In a normal game I will just build as many as I could, but for now I build just the amount I need. And by the way, you will also want to automate the building of these things. You don't want to use a replicator to build things you're going to build often, if I'm making sense. Okay, and what I wanted to do, oh yeah, I wanted to build a bunch of these, definitely 10. So this is not a lot of power, and you'll see. So power, I normally like to put the power generation facilities, in this case the wind turbines, in its own dedicated area. So let's take a look. Oh, look how beautiful this game is. I love it. I absolutely love this. I love this game. It's something probably I've said like a billion times, and maybe a billion is not exaggerating at all. But anyway, okay, where am I going to build all these wind turbines? So I might actually try to go closer to the poles, but I don't want to go too far away. I think I will build somewhere around here. Yeah, I'm going to build somewhere around here, Let's do that. Oh, by the way, if you press space, it will jump. After you unlock a tech that allows your mech to fly, you can then double click the spacebar and it will fly, which means you'll move faster. Okay, so I'm going to start placing the wind turbines somewhere around here, and I want to align this with the grid. I'm going to put one right here.
You have done building the first power transmission facility, Tesla Tower. It can carry out short-distance wireless power transmission and expand the power supply area of the power grid. Click on it to view the current power grid information.
Thank you. I just realized I made a mistake. I don't want a Tesla tower here. I want a wind turbine here. That's what I want. Because this is what generates energy.
Wind turbine. You have established your first power grid. Not all power facilities has its power supply area. Use the Tesla Tower to extend the area of the power grid.
Okay, let me explain. Nice milestone. Okay, one of many. So I normally like to have an area dedicated with these wind turbines. This is not the most efficient way to do this, because the wind turbines, if you put anything within this radius, will also automatically provide energy or transmit energy, meaning you don't have a Tesla Tesla tower, meaning you save resources. But again, I'm not here to optimize the game. This is not the purpose. This is not how I have fun with this game. I like to have these factories or these builds kind of aesthetically pleasing, that are not too chaotic, and it also helps me in more towards the mid and late game when you have a lot of factories, and it does help to build things in more or less a visually pleasing way, so it's not too chaotic. Okay, we've placed all of our power wind turbines, so overall we're generating 3.3 megawatts, and we have 100% satisfaction, meaning I can satisfy all the demand, which is 0 because I'm not plugging this to anywhere yet. So let's do that, and for that we use a Tesla coil. I'm a bit more flexible with the Tesla coil placement because it needs to be wrap around the things I want to power. As you can see, the machine started working. Yay! So what is it doing? If you want to know what it's doing, just click the machine and it will give you some information. In this case, you can see how fast it's producing, and by the way, don't care about the rates of things right now in the beginning. Just make sure you're building more than what you're consuming. That's it. Don't worry about ratios. I would recommend, because it can feel like you're doing some complex calculations that might take a bit of the enjoyment out of the game, at least for in the beginning. After you get used to it, it will make sense to understand the ratios, but for now, just try to build a lot of whatever you need, and that's it. What I did right there is just left click, and it will automatically transfer whatever it's capturing or mining to your inventory, and it will fill up at 50, which is not ideal. So we need to build more buildings, and to build more buildings we need to research. Apologies, I had to do a quick cut on the video. I had to take care of my 5-year-old. So I was showing you the research. So the first thing you need to research is the basic logistics system, which I already had a research in the meantime while I was away. So for this research to unlock these technologies, I needed 10 circuits, which I already had, and 10 gears, which I also already had. And that unlocked the belts, which I'd used to connect the different machines we have, the sorters, which are used to grab or put things into the machines to or from the belts, and storage, which is self-explanatory, so you can storage things. And there's multiple ways you can use storage. Normally I use storage like as a buffer when I'm overproducing, or if I'm not sure how many things I need of something but I don't want to stop production. I enable production to just go directly into the storage rather than plugging in to the next phase of the production stage, if it makes sense. So this is already done. The next is you want to turn you want a machine that turns raw materials into something that can be used to actually create more complex tech, and these are the smelters. So you need this as well, and glass that's used for other stuff, but you primarily need this research to be unlocked so you can start building smelters. Then after this one, let's queue. Oh, it's already there. Yeah, you see here the queue, it's already there. This research unlocks the assemblers, and the assemblers, they grab the, let's say, what's it called? The smelted components, and allows you to build more complex stuff, even other machines, which is something that you'll see it's very useful, that you use machines to build other machines as well, so you don't have to build it. Like, for example, assemblers. This machine can build itself, which is something you'll need, because in the mid to late game you're going to be building hundreds of assemblers, hundreds of smeltings, hundreds of this, and it's just, if not thousands even. And yeah, so you'll need a lot of these as well. And that's it for now. After you have these basic components, then what? What you need to follow is the cubes. You need to search on this tree where you unlock the cubes, because the cubes is what enables more research to progress and unlock more advanced technology. And as you might remember from the beginning of this video, ultimately, for you to get here to the objective of the mission, you need to have researched 4,000 of these white cubes. And as you can see in the tooltip below, there's apparently 6. Yeah, so 6 different cubes you need to research, and these cubes require a lot of materials to build. Okay, a lot. So you need to have an extremely complex, huge, gigantic industry to provide all the materials needed to develop all these cubes. So this will be next. So after I have the basic industry buildings, I will then want to go for the cubes, because then if I try to go to this next level, I can only unlock this technology if I have these cubes. Same here, same here. I don't think there's any other tech, yeah, as you can see, that I can unlock without cubes. And that's where you need to steer your priorities. For example, here, the next is the red cubes. How do you unlock the red cubes? Well, follow these arrows and you'll get it, okay? And then after the red cubes, it's the yellow cubes, which I don't know where they are, but somewhere around here. Oh, information matrix. No, this is the purple cube. Well, I hope your eyes are better than mine, but it's somewhere here. The yellow cube, is this it? No, it isn't. But as you can see, all the text after that initial tree, it requires cubes to unlock. Okay, back to the game. So now to research this tech, we need magnetic coils. Okay, press the F key, go to replicator, and start building some of these. Oh, we can build 71. I'm just going to build 10. It's what we need. Actually, I'm going to build 20 then. I always like to build a few more. And notice that a couple popped up here. That's because I don't have enough materials to build the magnetic coils, but I have enough raw materials to build the materials needed to build the magnetic coil. This might be confusing if it's the first time, like it was for me the first time playing this type of games, but it will make sense really quickly. Just give it maybe a couple of hours and you'll see this will become a second nature. There we go. And now what do we need for the next one? Oh, we already started the next one. That's why it's important to queue these researches, because okay, these are quite fast because it's in the beginning, but later in the game you might forget. You're busy, fixing some logistic problem you have or building something, and it's always good to queue some of these researches. Okay, so now we have smelters and belts and assemblers. Okay, perfect. And I also need copper. Yeah, so we cannot research anything else at this point, by the way. Let me double check. So all of this needs cubes. So now we are forced to wait. Yeah, just double checking. Yeah, there's nothing we can unlock. Oh, maybe there is something, by the way. Look up here. So this is the technologies that you need to unlock to actually build a Dyson Sphere. And the upgrades are things you can do to upgrade your mech, and also some of the key technologies you're going to unlock, you can also upgrade them. So maybe we can upgrade something. Let's start with the mecha core. Okay, this is easy to upgrade. Let's activate it. Lack of research items, we'll get to that in a second. This we need blue blocks. This we just need these motors, which is a bit more complex. And I don't think I have unlocked this. I don't think I can produce this, so there's no value in queuing. I also can, no, I can unlock steel, I think. So I might be able to queue this. This requires blocks, this doesn't. Oh, more fuel, yep, I want this. I want more fuel, more energy. Faster drones, meaning faster build. I need cubes, we don't have those. Oh, and unlocks Mega Flight. Oh, definitely I want this. Just requires coal and magnetic coils. Perfect. Okay, so we have something to do. And here, I don't think I can build motors. I will queue this. Oh, inventory capacity, I definitely want this. I almost missed that one. And let's queue this. Maybe at this point when I get here, I already know how to produce electric motors. Okay, so the game is telling me I don't have these materials. Well. If I don't have, let's produce them. So I need what, 20? As you can see, you need a lot of stuff. And here I'll be just a little bit more. And while this is happening, I'm going to collect a bit more iron ore, and I'm going to build some copper, automated copper mining machine. Okay, I'm a bit lost in the map, so I'm going to press the M key. Okay, I'm still next to the equator. Okay, I just want to make sure of my bearings. Copper first. Look what the mech will do when it goes over the water, and notice the energy here. You see, it will automatically fly, which is cool, but spends a lot of energy, and that tells me I haven't loaded my fuel chamber with power. Yep, let's do that. I'm pressing the control key. When you press the control key, let me press this back. It moves all items of the same type from one place to the other. Apologies, I had to clear my throat. So yeah, control click. Shift is just if I just want to transfer one. I'll do it like this, you see? Shift, control, moves both. Yep. The little things you'll learn. I'm not too bothered about these hotkeys. I think you'll get the hang of it. Okay, now we need to build a mining machine. So to rotate the machine, as it says on the tooltip on the right hand side, you just press the R button. And sometimes this doesn't align very well because of the grid. It snaps to the grid. So if you want to have a bit of flexibility to catch as many veins as possible, because that influences the speed on which the machine captures the ore, you just press the shift key and then R, and notice it's much smoother and it's not snapping to the grid, you see? And then once you're happy, I'm actually going to let go, because this with the grid is fine, because it's not too many veins. Boom, our drone just built another one. So now, what does it need? Power. So let's stretch power over here, and I'm going to do the same with coal and stone, and I'll be right back. Okay, all my machines are connected to each other, not connected to each other, but are connected to power. So copper, stone, where is iron? Iron right here, and coal a bit more far away. And I placed some more wind turbines. It's not perfectly placed because I still cannot terraform the terrain, so I can plop these buildings because I cannot plop them over the water, but in the future you'll unlock tech to terraform stuff. So that's that. And now let's start using conveyor belts. I will start with the iron because it's typically the thing we need the most at the beginning. So as I said, you want to build parallel to equator. So the equator is this thicker green line you see here. These are a bit thinner. So I want to build somewhere along this grid. Okay, so I'm just going to, where am I going to build this into? I think to this side. Whenever I can terraform, I will terraform. So the first thing I will suggest is that, so first build these conveyor belts latitudinal, if I'm pronouncing this correct. Okay, we don't have a lot of belts, so let me build something smaller for now. But you want to give yourself room to expand. Yes, okay, thank you. So you see, as soon as you connect the belt to the machine, the iron ore is automatically put here in the direction of the belt. So how do you decide which direction the belt goes? If you start from left to right, the belt will go from left to right. And if you do on the other way, the belt will go from right to left. The belt will go then from left to right. I don't know the difference between left and right. I think that became pretty obvious right now. Okay, so it depends on your starting point. That's basically it. Oh, another tip. So if you just click the delete button here and you just select whatever you're selecting, it will just delete that single thing. But if, like says the tooltip, if you press shift, you'll delete the whole thing. So it's quite useful. And don't be afraid to delete stuff, okay? You cannot lose this game, and you're not wasting materials. Every time you delete stuff, it will go back to your inventory. See, I have 11 belts here. I'm going to put a few.
Belt, all you need to do is determine the starting point and the end point of it. In addition, use the up arrow key to lift up one level, and
good
use
point.
the down arrow key to drop down one level after the conveyor belt is lifted. Press keypad 0 to reset the construction height of the conveyor belt to the ground. If you don't want the conveyor belt to be attached to the building, you can try holding down the shift key.
Yeah, this is really cool. So this is I was just showing you what happens when you delete. You see, I only have 3 belts. If I delete them all, pressing the shift key, they all come back here. You see, so you don't lose anything at all. Feel free to delete everything. I'm in mid game and I've deleted so much stuff, and you don't lose a single thing, even the items. So I'm going to delete stuff in the belt, and the things that are in the belt, they'll come to your inventory. Actually, I'm not going to delete. I think it's self-explanatory. Okay, if you delete stuff from here, it will go back to your inventory. So you can't lose stuff in this game. Okay, so feel free to try stuff, delete it, delete it. Okay, what was I doing? Oh yeah, I was showing you what happens next. So we put the belt in this direction, so things start to flow in this direction. And what I'm going to do is now build a smelter machine, and I'll plop it right here next to the belt. There we go.
You built a smelter, which can smelt basic materials, such as iron ingots and copper ingots automatically. While you want to make the raw materials and products get in and out of it autonomously, you need to use sorters and conveyor belts.
That's right. So conveyor belts are self-explanatory, I think. They just allow your stuff, your resources to travel between the different machines. And what is quite common in this game is that you have a belt for the input.
Without recipe set. Please set the recipe you want. After selecting the recipe, you can use the less than key to copy the recipe, and the greater than key to paste the next building that needs to set the same recipe.
That is correct. So normally what you want to do is you have, let's say, an input belt of goods that you want to input the machine, and another belt, which I'll put right here, of the output things. And how do you decide what things the machine will create? You click the machine and you select a recipe. In this case, iron, or iron ingots. So I select the recipe, I put the belts, but something is missing.
After selecting the recipe, you can use the less than key to copy the recipe, and the greater than key to paste the next building that needs to set the same recipe.
Yeah, that wasn't what I was going for, but thank you. That's useful information. But what I want to say is that things are in the belts, and how do you get things in and out from the machines? So use the sorters. To have a sorter grab stuff from the belt and put in the machine, you click the belt first, and then the machine, and you'll see the connection points will appear. So there's 3 on each side. I use the one in the middle just because I like it. Nothing particular about it. and now the machine immediately starts working. Let's click the machine to see what's doing. So it's processing, and it will reach a point where it cannot store anymore. So what I want to do is I want to build a storage. Oh, double click, we go automatically to the replicator, and I want to build 2. Yeah, let's build 2. Oh, I need stone, right. I will start smelting stone bricks quite soon. So what I'd like to do is put a storage box here, and then get a sorter to grab the storage from here, the ingots from here, and store it. And there's one thing missing here. So I have a sorter inputting things to the machine. Now I need another sorter to output things from the machine into the belt. And you'll see it starts to get populated. Once the belt gets full, it will then end when this reaches 100. I think it's 100. Let's just wait a little bit. The production will stop. That's it. So you typically don't want this, or at least you don't want this to just low numbers. And it's low because you need hundreds of thousands of these things. Again, in the mid-late game. But you need to anticipate that need, which is something I didn't do in my playthrough. And that's the last thing I show you in the video, is my first and only save, because I still didn't build a Dyson Sphere. It just, yeah, it's a lot of work, and I'm not, again, as a casual player, I'm pacing myself. I'm trying to understand the game and really focusing on what gives me pleasure, which is to create this very, let's say, functional, or at least visually functional. The reason why I say visual is that I like to see everything clearly on the map, or at least I do now, because in the beginning, I'll show you at the end of the video, is what my save looks like, and you see a mishmash of chaos because I really didn't know what I was doing, which is perfectly fine. So what I'm doing right now, and having a lot of fun with it, is deleting a bunch of stuff I built at the beginning of the game and recreating it based on my current skills. And I'm pretty sure after I even learn more, I will come back to these, let's call them factory designs, and I will recreate them and so on. And if you have fun doing this stuff, you love it. And again, you cannot lose this game. You cannot, there's no, I don't know, negative condition about anything other than spending your time in this. So if you have fun doing this stuff, you're going to love this game. And as I know I've said it before, but this is a beautiful game. Look at the sunset. So cool. Okay, so what I was doing, so I was creating these smelters, so I'm going to do the same for stone, coal and copper, and I'll be right back. Okay, this is the last one, and let's use this to recap. So let's build a smelter. Oh, and notice that the belts can go on top of water. See, no problem at all. Belts also do not need energy, but the sorters do. So these things here, they need energy. Because I'm next to this Tesla tower, not coil, as I often say. Just grabs it for me just nicely. And now this side is the input, this side is the output, and what I like to do is put the storage box at the end and just grab the output from there. And just remember that the direction of the sorter depends on where you start and where you finish. Okay, you see, this is showing this warning. That means it does not have power. So I already produced a bunch of these Tesla towers. As you can see, you need a lot of them. And because I like to put things aligned, I think this will be good enough. Yeah. You see, straight line. It's not the most efficient way, but it's better. And I didn't do this, and I'll show you in a sec my playthrough, and I'll show you my original builds, and you'll see it's a freaking mess. So in the beginning I was so overwhelmed by the game, I really didn't pay attention to these details. But just pace yourself, do not rush, This game will last hours and hours. I'm already 40 hours in, and I still didn't start building the Dyson Sphere, so you have an idea. But that's because I like to take my time. Again, as a casual player, and I consider myself a casual player by only playing like 15-20 hours a week, which I think for this type of game, I think it's fair to consider this casual. It's just, yeah. Oh, and we haven't unlocked the energetic graphite. See, I don't have an option in the recipe, and this is produced, as you can see there in the tooltip, by using coal. 2 coal ores make 1 energetic graphite, and then if you have more advanced machines you can produce also graphite. That's what the other information means, but don't worry about that right now. So we just need to unlock graphene. That's actually a good exercise. Let's see, how do we unlock that? How do we unlock that? So let's go to the technology tree. So we can't really produce this, can't we? So let's cancel this one. This one we can do. Let's go back to the technology tree. Iron smelting, that's not it. It's not it. Ah, here it is. Okay. So I guess we need to focus on unlocking this. Otherwise we cannot upgrade our mech. And as you can see, this is how you decide which is the next priority in your upgrade queue. That's basically, I think this was actually useful. So let's see if we can build the blue cubes. To build the blue cubes you need the matrix slab. So you need glass. Okay, let's see, what do I need? I need glass and these magnetic coils. Why can't I produce magnetic coils? Because I don't have raw iron. Okay, let's grab that. So here I'm going to leave this without a recipe because there's nothing I can produce with coal. This is made with stone, copper, iron and iron. So I have nothing to build here. So let's take a look what we need to build this. Oh, that's not too bad. We need magnetic coils and circuits, which just require copper and iron. Perfect. So this is the first complex thing we will make, because we'll need assemblers to make this. So we need copper and iron. Okay, let's do this. Where is copper and where is iron? Okay, let me show you what I've done. So for me to build, let me show you. For me to build the blue cube, I need the magnetic coil and the circuits, and each require iron and copper, both of them. So it's quite interesting. Well, I'm saying iron. It needs magnets. So I need to transform iron into magnets, iron ore that is. So I could do this. I could place this here, another smelter, and then tell it to produce magnetic coils. And I did this in my original playthrough. I tried to put all the buildings together. I didn't stretch this long belt. I didn't do this. I tried to put things all on top of each other if I could. Obviously if things were far like here, I would have to do something like this. But yeah, this is not ideal. If you put something like this, it will mess a bit your production line at the end. Okay, what I recommend as a newbie, as a noob like me, is to keep things separate. It will help you in the long run. Although this is not efficient, because I definitely don't need to build more miners and more smelter elsewhere. I could have just as easily put the building there. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this to have a dedicated, let's call it factory, just for the oh jeez, I'm lost. Just for the magnets. So I'm going to do that. Oh, and I just noticed something. So I'm trying to produce magnetic coils, but because I have the manual research on this tick box, I'm going to untick this so it stops consuming research resources, I should say, from my inventory, so I can actually build this production line, because I don't want to be using my replicator all the time. So let's build a few of these, and then we can build the buildings we need. We need one mining machine, and as you can see, I clicked, let me right click this to remove this from here. You see, this is the current queue. So for me to build the magnetic coils, I need to build magnets, and it automatically will build them as long as there's enough resources. Same for this. So this is a bit more complex tech tree, and if I click here, it will just populate with whatever is missing at the time when I click the produce. Okay, finally I have the miner. See how many ores I can grab. A lot. I try to grab I like to grab in order. Again, this is not the most efficient. I like to grab the ones that are closer. So yeah, that's what I did. And now, where do I want to build? I want to use this row to build my factory, kind of overlapping with this one, which might not be a bad thing actually. Or do I want to build here? And again, in the near future, you'll be able to terraform this land. The safest would be to start building towards this direction over here. Although, no. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try to maximize utilization of this small space. So I'm going to put a belt around here to here. And then I can put smelter right where, as far as I can, it is here. And this one will produce the magnets. What happened here? No, from the belt to the machine. There we go. And then another belt with the output of this, which I'll want. I still don't know exactly where I want it. This is what I particularly enjoy in this game, or one of the many things I enjoy in this game, is to figure these things out. Where to best place things. I'm just going to do it linearly, so I'm going to place it right here, like I'm doing with the other ones. And then I'll figure out the rest soon enough. So I want to build magnets. And I want sorter to grab the magnets from here, dump them in this. So we don't have enough power here. Let's see if we can stretch it. Again, this is not the ideal placement, but it's the one I like doing because it's more linear. I like these things. I didn't know I like this until I started playing the game. And you'll find your own favorite layouts and how to build things. Okay, so whatever I'm doing is just so you know a way. It's definitely not the best way or the efficient way, or even the most aesthetically pleasing way. It's just what I like to do. And again, this video is all about you enjoying the game rather than trying to be perfect or efficient or whatever. I think the efficiency will come eventually as you play this game, but the important thing is that you have fun with this game. Okay, so here we are, and now let's start with the most simple one. So the simple one is to build the circuits, and for that we just need one assembler, and I'll plop it here. No, because then I will block. Well, I can grow towards this side actually, so yeah, I think I will put this here in case I want to grow. I'll put more machines into this direction. I think for a factory, or for the amount of resources I have here, I think this will be plenty of space. And obviously you'll explore the other areas of the planet and other planets and other solar systems, and then you can build it even bigger. But I think for the early game this will be enough. And another important tip is that just don't worry too much about this. Okay, you'll figure this one out. And as you can see, I'm clearly not an expert in this. I still struggle. Another important thing to note is that you can grab resources to or from the machines from up to 3 belts, or 3 of these squares. More farther than this you can't. So you can come here, but you cannot grab from another belt. Okay, so let's grab this from here. Cool. And now the output of this should go into the matrix, shouldn't it? Oh, another thing I want to show you. Can I build one? F key, matrix. So this is where you produce your cubes. Let me produce one. And this is the last thing we're going to make in this video because it's quite long. I didn't want it to be this long, to be honest, but I think it's useful, and you do let me know. And again, I want to end this video showing you what the mid-game looks like and what rookie mistakes look like, which are the mistakes I made in the beginning. Or, it's not really mistakes, it's extremely suboptimal way of building things. That's basically it. It's not really a mistake, I don't think. So we are now in a position to build this. So just select the recipe of circuit boards, and the sorters will start to grab things. And if this is too slow, because it needs 2 iron for each 1 copper, you can put more sorters over here, and then it will become twice as fast. Yeah, and that's it. So now we're making circuits. Yay! What else do we need to make? We need to make the coils. So for the coils we need copper, and we need this thing, the magnets. So what I'm going to do is something that would probably need to be reworked later, which is this. So why am I doing this? Come on. Because I want to have another of these assemblers nearby. That's it. Later, when you unlock more tech, you have more flexibility in terms of how you do this, and also the speed. Look, in the mid game this goes so fast, the drones just boom 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 do everything so much faster, and your guy moves much faster. Do I have any power? Yeah, I have coal, so let's use it, and wood. Okay, there we go. So as you can see, nothing passes here. So what I do is I put another sorter to dump things, and this creates a buffer, because as long as the the belt is not full, it will keep dumping things here, and once it's full it starts accumulating, which is what I'm calling a buffer. It's quite useful, especially when you're trying to sort out these things. You don't really know how much of each do you want. Okay, let's put a assembler here, which we don't have, so let's build it. There we go. And now notice that there's 3 belts here. That's how far, 3 belts away, that's how far a sorter can pick stuff up. So if I click here and here, it will pick this up, and now a magnet from here, and another belt just to dump things in, which I'll put in this direction as well. Then a sorter to dump things here, and then selecting the recipe to tell it to produce magnets. There we go. Now we are producing magnets and circuit boards. But we want to use these two to build blue cubes, so the research can be automated instead of going to my inventory, which I have disabled in the meantime. I'm going to enable this, and it will start to use this manual research. Okay, actually I do need, I need this, and I need coal, because I don't want to build a machine for these early early things into the matrix. Oh, it's down there, it's far away. Okay, I'll go there soon. Let me just finish this, because I want to build blue cubes, these ones in electromagnetic matrices, and so let's do that. And for that I need this. This is what enables you to produce the cubes and automate the research, which I'll show you. Oh, I already have 2 matrices, right? Okay, so what I can do is something as simple as this. I wouldn't do this like so, because what I would do is something similar. I would put the storage here, grab the coils like so, similarly to this side, and this is up to you. Again, this is where I think the fun comes, where you create these logistic networks and you figure out what flow works best for you. And then in time you learn the ratios and all that stuff, which to be honest I haven't learned. So what I want to do is something very basic. I want to grab stuff from here. I want to pass this belt over the other one, and for you to do this, look, I'm going to show you. Just press the up arrow key on your keyboard, and come on, and there we go. And then I want this to be symmetrical if I can make it. Yep, perfect. And then I want to do it like this, like this. So I need to have a belt full of circuits and another belt full of magnetic coils, and I want this to be, let's say, buffered. There we go. And we need power for this stuff as well. Let's get closer to these things so that the drones can work faster. Let's put another power. Yeah, Tesla here, another one here. Okay. And why aren't the circuits coming? I forgot to put, yeah, I forgot to put the sorter. Let's sort it out. Okay, it's done. So now we have two belts with everything we need. The magnetic coils and the circuits. And now I'm going to put one of these matrices right here at the end, and the belt itself can be used as a mini
Matrix
buffer.
Lab. You can use it to
Let's
make
hear
super
him.
matrices or research technologies that require them to unlock. The super matrices are the source code of the center brain for maintaining the homeworld. You can upload as many super matrices to the center brain as possible. You can be benefit to unlock more actual world technologies by operating the homeworld simultaneously.
Okay, so let's pull these things from the belts and let's tell it to produce. You can also select to research to produce blue cubes. And there we go. It starts to produce blue cubes. I'm 2 hours into this game. So yeah. Do you think this is fun? Because I love doing this stuff, you know, and then optimizing. And later I look at this and like, I don't like this, and then I rework all this thing, because then I have a better tech that allows me to build more functional factories. I'm calling this stuff like factories or production lines. It's just really, it's just amazing. You can see it's not, I don't think it's too difficult as long as you know these basic steps and you don't try to do too much and be too ambitious, and you know these basics. I think, yeah, it's awesome. So what you need to do to have automated research is you need to feed these cubes into another matrix but with a different function, which I'll do it right here in a very lame way. So I'm going to put this just right next to it, and then what you can do, you can have sorters from one building directly to the other. Oh, but it's too close. Okay, scrap that, scrap that. Let's see if I can. Yeah, this should be long enough, and you can have this feed directly into here. So most buildings, if not all, allow you to do this, to connect buildings directly with sorters without having belts. I don't like to have these things so close to each other because you'll need to produce all other cubes, the red cubes, the yellow, green, purple, etc. But when you start the game, I think this is good enough, because it will take a while for you to get to the next cube, if it makes sense, and this will make your research easier, I think. So you don't want this to produce, you want this to research. So you click here. And now it's going to consume the blue cubes, and we'll start researching whatever we have with blue tech, which is nothing yet, because we are building this or researching this that actually requires materials instead of cubes. And I think that's it, guys. Look how it looks. Let me press the M key. Look how cool this looks. I hope it looks cool to you, because it does look cool to me. So we built our wind farm. we built our production line for copper, iron, magnets, circuit boards, etc. And we are producing our first cube, which is the blue cube. And this is like the major milestone. And you can do it in a very simplistic way like I did here. And have a lot of fun in the process. Yeah, I think that's it. I'm now going to show you real quick my save game, where I think I'm like mid-game, maybe 2/3 of the game. I still didn't start building my Dyson Sphere yet, but I will in a second. And not a second, but soon-ish. So I just want to show you what mid-game looks like. Behold, the future of mankind. Yeah, so this is what mid-game looks like. Look, a lot of factories. And this is my next project. I don't like the way I built this. I already see a lot of things I can do much better. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to delete everything here. And I'm going to rebuild all this huge factory. Then you'll have towers like these that can send things between multiple places in your planet. So you don't have to stretch belts all the way to the other side of the planet. And you have these larger towers that are used to connect or to transfer products between planets and solar systems. I didn't get to that part yet, so I'm going to go to the star map. I'm going to zoom out if I can. Here we go. And look at my solar system. See, you can see the little spaceships going back and forth. Other planets. This one, I don't see any going back and forth here for some reason. This is my titanium factory, and as you can see here, once you unlock a bunch of technology, you can see what each planet has. This one is my silicon factory, and this one is my titanium factory, because this planet, the original one, doesn't have silicon or titanium. And oh, this one is going to the other one. It's so cool. And then you have multiple biomes. Look at the other planet. Oh my god, this game is so beautiful. Oh, and let me show you a cool thing. I'm in space, guys. I'm flying. And if you want to go anywhere, to other stars like those, I still don't have the tech to go to the other stars. Or if you want to go to other planets, you just fly away. How cool is that? How cool is that? All the potential suffering one might have learning this game, it's so worth it. Let's just enjoy this. How cool was that? I just landed on a different planet. I mean, I love it. I love this. And the last tip I want to give you before I wrap up this episode is how do you play this casually? So I'm assuming if you're still watching the video, you really enjoy this, really enjoy the game, and you're learning some useful things that will motivate you to buy this game and play this game, because it's still in early access, so bear in mind, it has so much content already. It's just unbelievable. But what I want to say is that what happens to me is that sometimes I stay like 2 or 3 days without playing, and then I don't remember what was I doing, because now the game is really complex. There's a lot of moving parts in the game, and again, I'm still in mid-game. Imagine the late game. It's like, so what do? Is I just take notes. So let's say I'm fixing this. This is a silicon factory. So let's say I'm fixing this. I just go to my phone. Most phones, if not all of them, have some note apps. I just take note. I say, I was doing this, and I think next I should do that. Boom. And then 3 days later, I'm like, what was I doing? I load the game, and then I'm like, I don't remember. So I go check my notes. Oh yeah, I was going to rebuild this because of that. And that's it. Just focus on one segment of the production line at a time, and you can play this game casually, meaning focus on the silicon bits, then focus maybe on the power bits, and then focus on other things. Try to focus on these segments rather than trying to be too ambitious. That would be probably my most important and my last advice in the video. So I hope you survived this far, and that means that you're enjoying this. And yeah, do yourself a favor and grab this game. It's just amazing. If you want to see more videos like this, do let me know. It's the first time I'm doing such videos, so I don't know if there's demand. I think there's probably a big audience like me and out there that really wants to know. Look at one of the spaceships going to another planet. Look there. Oh, where is the other planet? There it is. Man, it's so cool. Look, another one. Look, it's here. Look, it's going to the other planet that I have colonized. I mean, this is amazing. It's worth the trouble. There is a bit of trouble. There's a bit of a learning curve. Again, hopefully I flattened this curve a little bit for you. But yeah, and if you like this, do let me know in the comments below if I made any mistakes, or if there are any suggestions that you'd like others to know. Just place those in the comment section below, or overall feedback. Just let me know. I love reading comments. So yeah, just do let me know what you think and any suggestions. And if you want to see more videos, then I'll be happy to do those. Okay. So yeah, that's it, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and hopefully I'll see you again on the next one. Bye bye.